Oh, hi, welcome back. I'm glad you're here. I was having lunch with the group of agents that helped me with the Charleston real estate website, and we were brainstorming on how we can be more helpful to buyers that are coming from a distance. Someone threw the idea on the table of creating a restaurant tour. Well, I'm sure you know there are several hundred great restaurants in Charleston. I mean, we're known for our foodie destination. So we said, okay, we certainly can't create 100 stops on the tour. Why don't we create an obscure restaurant tour? So places that you may or may not know about. So let's jump right in and we'll take a look at a few interesting restaurants that I think you should try when you come. So we'll get our bearings here first by starting in the peninsula. So this is our harbor, the peninsula, James Island, West Ashley, Mount Pleasant. We've got North Charleston and the airport up here, and this is Daniel Island. So the first place I'm going to show you, I have never eaten here, but I've heard really good things about it. And if you go here, I would love to get your feedback, and of course I'm going to try it as well. And this may be a little bit of a shocker, but it's called Martha Lou's. And let's take a look at what Martha Lou's looks like. This is true soul food, as far as I can tell. So certainly a little place that you'd probably just drive right by, but I'm sure that this is very authentic soul food. And I love the fact that there's a guy just sitting right there. Anyway, that's probably Martha Lou's husband just waiting on her to stop cooking. So try Martha Lou's and give us some feedback. I'd love to hear what you think of it. There's another place that Guy Fieri from the Food Channel visited recently, and they have fantastic Cuban sandwiches, and it's nearby. It's called the Tattooed Moose. And the Tattooed Moose is right here. Let's take a look at it from the street. There's the Tattooed Moose. Now let's take a look at a nearby taco place. And this is called Taco Boy. We're still on the peninsula here. This is off of Huger Street, Huger. And this is kind of a fun little place. It's got an outdoor eating area, and it's got easy parking. It's sort of in the hood, and remember, these are obscure restaurants. And let's take a street view. I think you'll like this. Here is the Taco Boy truck smiling at the Google car. So anyway, try Taco Boy. It's a good place to go. Now, while we're on the peninsula, we'll take a look at one more place. This is called FIG, F-I-G, and it stands for Food is Good. Here it is right here on the corner of Meeting and Hazel Street. And it's a great restaurant, one of many downtown that you may or may not know about. You'll need reservations. Excellent food. So try FIG. Now let's go back to our aerial view just to get our bearings. We'll kind of continue with this theme and come back to this frequently so we don't get lost. So now let's head into North Charleston. So if you're interested in getting really, really great pizza, then EVO is right here, and it stands for Extra Virgin Olive. And it's just an excellent place. It's gotten best pizza in Charleston several years in a row, and it's very, very fresh. So it's farm-to-table vegetables and just really good beet salads, just excellent food. This is old downtown North Charleston in the Park Circle area. We mentioned it on a previous video, and this is EVO Pizza. Excellent, excellent food. Back to our overhead view, again to get our bearings before we head over and take a look at a Thai restaurant in Mount Pleasant called Pattaya Thai, which is right here. Get a little bit closer. There's a frontage road that you have to get on, so you can't turn off of this highway right in it. So you have to back up and take, I think it's the second light in Mount Pleasant, and get on this frontage road, follow it up, and it will take you to Pattaya Thai, which is a short distance. And this is what it looks like from the street. It's right there in the corner of that shopping center. Pretty good Thai place. I also have to give a shout out to my friend Steve. he has the restaurant, the Water Dog Grill, and it's sort of a bar food type place, but he's got an excellent cheeseburger, probably the best one in Mount Pleasant. And if you're there, say hello to Steve for me. Now let's go over to the Boulevard Diner, which is on the Coleman Boulevard side of town, which is over here. So you have two options when you get into Mount Pleasant off of the bridge. You can go left and you're on 17 North, which is where we just were, or you can go right and head down Coleman Boulevard. And this, again, is the Boulevard Diner. It's right here. They have excellent fried chicken sandwiches. And that's what it looks like right there. Now let's take a look at a place that's really hard to find. It's much easier to find using a map like this than it is on the street. This is called the Wreck. And what's interesting about the Wreck is that it is a little dive place, but it is extremely fresh seafood. So see these boats right here? This is where the dinner comes from. So there's no freezer in between the boats and the Wreck. So it is super fresh. But here's why it's so hard to find. And this is called the Wreck of Richard and Charlene. So if you put it in Google Maps, that your car should take you to it. But it's very obscure. So this is like a little boatyard place in the middle of a neighborhood. And we got a little kind of boatyard area where they work on boats. Another place where they kind of work on boats here. And then this is the Wreck of Richard and Charlene, which you can't even see from the street. I mean, how hidden is that? You know, that is a restaurant. So the Wreck of Richard and Charlene. Now back to get our bearings on the peninsula. This is a place on Daniel Island called Laura Albert's. And let's just kind of zoom in. They have really great lunches. Very delicious. Interesting sandwich spot. Great salads as well. And this is what it looks like from the street. This is Laura Albert's. It's right on the corner. They've got some dining in the rear and dining inside. Very busy place. So if you go right at 12 o'clock, you might be waiting for a short while. Again, let's get our bearings. Now we're back in the harbor. Now let's go over to Bowen's Island, which is on James Island toward Folly Beach. This is a fantastic place if you want to go and just have a nice ice-cold beer on a Friday night and have some great seafood. Again, it's probably right out of the creek. Fantastic views. Big marsh vista. This is the ocean out there and just big water views. So this is a great way to unwind and relax. There was a fire here a few years ago, but they've rebuilt. So it's just a fantastic experience. It's called Bowen's Island. Again, pretty obscure. Again, back in the harbor. Now let's go real quickly over to Sullivan's Island to a place called Poe's. Poe's is a very popular place. It's named after Edgar Allan Poe. In fact, Edgar Allan Poe used to live on Sullivan's Island. And this is actually a place called Goldbug Island, which is one of his poems or one of his, I guess, stories. And here's what Poe's looks like. It's about 2 blocks from the beach, so it's right here. You can simply walk to the beach. It's actually right here. So 2 blocks, you're on the beach. This is what it looks like on the street. Very popular place. Lots of people go there. Right across the street is Taco Mamacita, which is equally as good. Dunleavy's Pub. On New Year's Day, they have the Polar Bear Plunge, which isn't too frigid. I mean, we are in the South. I've done it a few times, and the water was like 53 degrees. The air was just a little bit warmer than that. So it was a good way to wake up on New Year's Day. Thousands of people do this Polar Bear Plunge, and then these restaurants out here fill up. So that's kind of a fun thing to do on New Year's. So there you go. There is our obscure restaurant tour. Again, back to our starting point. And again, I would love it if you told me that you went to Martha Lou's. And if you go there, please make sure and check in on the blog on the website and tell us if it's good or not. Again, Would love to hear your input. Thank you for taking the tour, and thank you to all of the agents who have contributed. I could not have put this together without all of their help. So thank you so much again, and have a fantastic day. Happy house hunting.